1995 and was seen to symbolize the achievement of performance excellence in the industry. ACA's Apex Awards have since demanded high attention. Odette Roper and Ivan Moroge are here to help us understand what it takes to judge a campaign. Thank you so much for joining us. What sets the Apex Awards apart from other awards?
The Apex Awards are completely different to traditional creative awards for our industry. In fact, it's the one award that demands attention to results and stats. It's the one award that takes quite a while to put together in terms of the entry, in that it is a mini dissertation. It's a little case study that explains for the adjudication panel everything that happened before the campaign, leading up to the campaign, the rationale for the campaign, and the results that the campaign yielded. So it is a collaboration between the marketer or the client and the agency teams. And really it's a demonstration of the effort that went into putting a campaign together versus traditional creative awards where it is literally a picture or the material that is viewed from a creative perspective, a copy-paste jobby.
So then there's a likability factor, isn't it?
Yes.
More than a measurability factor.
Absolutely. That is the difference between what is an Apex Awards and what is award and what is a traditional award. It's based on the IPA's Effectiveness Awards. And we're very proud of the fact that over the years, it used to be every 2 years and has subsequently now become an annual event, which means that the pressure is now on from both the marketer side as well as the agency side to not only enter the Apex Awards, but to measure their results of the campaigns that they execute every single campaign.
Yeah.
If we ask Ivan, what defines a successful campaign?
Well, it's all about effectiveness. That's what makes something to be a winner with Apex. So the key thing, which is always the challenge, is to take out all the other factors that might have influenced how a campaign or a brand performed and really hone it down to communication. That's as simple as that. But I mean, obviously, if, let's say, for example, there's a new product and you have a communication to launch it, it gets to be a bit quite difficult because even the interest of that product on its own will have been there anyway without the communication. So it's about just making sure that it's absolutely honed down to communication. And things that makes it always comes down to an insight that the brand and the campaign had about the category that it was operating in, but most importantly, about the target market that is targeting.
Absolutely.
And it's that connecting with the heart and mind. That's what overall makes a successful campaign.
Odette, give us some examples of or highlights from last year's awards.
Last year was the first year in a few years that we awarded a Grand Prix. Now, Grand Prix is awarded from the Gold Award winners, and it's a campaign that stands a head and shoulders above the rest. And last year we were very, very proud to award the Grand Prix to Zoom in Cape Town for the PEP Generations campaign. I'll let Ivan tell you about PEP, but I'll tell you about one of the gold winners, KFC, for the Shaking Up KFC campaign.
Oh, yes.
If you remember, the ad is about the little girl who takes the milkshake from the little boy and the dad.
Love that ad.
Whole campaign. And how it came about is KFC had invested a huge amount of money into milkshake machines that was distributed amongst their franchise operations. And what they found was that the capital expenditure was not being realized in terms of a return because they were complicated, these machines, and the staff weren't using them. So together with the ad agency, Ogilvy, they came up with a campaign to sell milkshake, a generic strawberry-flavored milkshake. Nothing fancy, nothing out of the ordinary, just good old strawberry milkshake as we all know it. Well, the campaign yielded an incredible return on investment. And in fact, what would be frowned upon from a franchise operation that sells chicken as its core product, it would be questioned that this was perhaps a deviation from the brand. What it actually did was created an opportunity for cross-selling. So not only did they sell milkshake, they sold more chicken and more other sweet snacks in the franchise store. And that's basically the success of the campaign. And when you think about it, you now start seeing how advertising has a real place and role in business. The actual problem was the milkshake machines. The solution, a fabulous campaign. Money in the bank.
Take us through the PEP campaign, please.
Well, I think the PEP one, why I particularly like that is Odette was mentioning earlier on about creative awards and effectiveness awards. And I think the two are not mutually exclusive. And it shows with the route that they took, which was quite creative, because they made, I mean, it took placement of product beyond, because what they did, they took the actual campaign and put it inside a soapy, quite a popular soapy of generations. And it was part of the campaign, because the soapy is centered around an advertising agencies, so people were seeing that as it was happening. And they are not mutually exclusive. That is it was so creative, and it ended up changing the perception of that brand to where it is today.
Absolutely.
And it was because of the two working together, because people sometimes think that effectiveness awards have necessarily have to be boring or not exciting. But creativity is the one that makes the difference, really. But the difference with Apex is not just creativity, because at the end of the day, advertising is about selling a product. That's what it comes down to. So, and that's what Apex is focusing on.
Could you walk us through the categories of the Apex Awards?
We have the first one is launched. That's for all the campaigns. That's for brands that don't have a history of advertising or communication, or have been quite limited. So it's like launching of a campaign. The second one is about change. Change is brands that have got a history of having communication campaigns, but that there was a step change in terms of a particular campaign that had some absolutely immediate results. And the third one, which is a bit more difficult to judge, is sustain. Is about looking at a campaign that has sustained a strength or the objective of the brand over a long time, up to about 36 months. So as you can imagine, that's a bit quite difficult to judge. And you say, I think the easier one you think will be the launch one, because it's a bit easier to isolate that this brand was not being communicated before. We are now doing it, so, and here are the results. The change one, I think, is the one in the middle, but all of them have come with their own challenges.
Talk about judging. Marion, how important is your judging panel?
Oh, it's vital. I'm on 3 media judging panels, and I've been on a couple of them for a number of years. And obviously, you're always going to get people complain when the results come out that there was prejudice, there was this, there was that. But ultimately, I think the makeup of that judging panel is everything. So that if you have the right makeup, even though maybe I look at, obviously, we all look at things differently, and if I look at it differently to you, and you look at it differently to Odette, the end result will come out correctly, and we have proven that definitely, and I think that happens. And as I say, it's the quality of your judging panel, and also the guidelines for the judges. If it's laid out really well, you almost can't go wrong. You've got to get so many points out of this for this, and so many points out of that. It cannot go wrong in the end.
Absolutely.
Lastly, Odette, tell us about the highlights. What are you expecting for this Apex?
Well, I think the biggest highlight for this year is the number of participating agencies. Not only did the number of entries increase this year compared to last year and previous years, but the number of agencies who are participating in Apex have increased quite dramatically. That, for me, says that the competition is anybody's.
Even with this economy,
absolutely.
That's actually startling.
And, it could be argued that the same people win year on year, and it could be argued that maybe they have more experience in putting an Apex case study together than some other agencies. But Zoom showed us differently last year. First time entrant, first time Grand Prix after a long time. This year we've got a whole lot of agencies that have never entered Apex before, and if you start looking at some of the brands that have been entered, it's going to be an exciting, it's going to be a robust time. I think the judges are going to have a rigorous debate. I look forward to that, and most of all, I look forward to the night. I look forward to the 27th of May, when we can actually stand proud as an industry and showcase that we actually have a real, tangible contribution to make.